Greetings and hello. If we rely on social media images, the impression we get of Trinidad's annual carnival is one of bacchanal, booze, beautiful women, and of course, dancing to soca music. For the month leading up to the procession of millions reveling in the streets, the country is a party, and the energy cannot be described. When we look at the history of the southernmost Caribbean nation, we can begin to make sense of the feeling that carnival invokes in tourists and locals alike, and that feeling is exemplified in soca music, the soundtrack of carnival. Soca is Trinidad's indigenous genre of music, identified by its high speed and energy, its unique instruments, and its socially conscious lyrics. The nation has a rich and tumultuous history. It was a forgotten colony of Spain for hundreds of years that endured slavery and mass immigration of indentured servants, until finally emancipation came. The evolution of soca in the region reflects this turmoil, and so if you would follow me on this journey through history to understand the music and the magic in it, you may be able to understand its true purpose, to revel in the freedoms we work so hard to enjoy. Let's understand the music first by understanding the history of the country and the birth of carnival. A bit of negative history before we get into the fun stuff. The creation of the cultural amalgam in Trinidad started during colonization. Many Native Amerindians died from disease after Europeans came into contact with them, and a small number of Africans on the island remained until Spain's Cedula of Population in 1783, which opened the borders to establish Trinidad as a plantation colony. Sugarcane was the primary crop for slave labor, and it was particularly grueling to farm. The descendants of these African slaves and natives accounted for 40% of Trinidad's population today. They brought their Kaiso music from West Africa, an ancestor to soca. Nearing emancipation, the shortage of labor created way for indentured servants to begin migrating over from Europe and Asia. Due to this history, East Indians also account for about 40% of the population, having arrived with their own culture to mix with the Africans and indigenous South American natives. Around the 17th century, Kaiso fused all of these cultures together and became calypso music. The celebration of emancipation was a spiritual birth of carnival. Slaves and servants took to the cane fields to set the crops ablaze and marched through the streets, beating the charged shoots in a rhythm. This celebration was known as Canboulay, or the cane burning. The celebration of freedom produced a sound that underscores the political content and excitement represented in soca. We're starting to draw that connection. As the yearly Canboulay celebration grew in size and reputation, homemade instruments became more and more sophisticated. Bamboo shoots of different lengths created different sounds. Pots and pans and garbage can covers were all fair game to join the rhythm section and celebrate through the streets. Eventually, the percussion got so sophisticated, they created the only musical instrument invented in the 20th century, the steel pan. These events highlight a spirit of improvisation that is integral in understanding the evolution of the music, the carnival festival, and the nation. Music always saddles the country's social movements. As described, the percussion and melody of Trinidad's Canboulay and carnival music has always been politically relevant, but Calypso began the addition of verbal commentary. It continues to be a place to air grievances about society, government, or current events. A musician named Lord Shorty is credited as creating soul calypso in the late 1970s, which was later shortened to soca. To many, carnival appears an annual party, and soca is simply its soundtrack. But now we can see it as so much more. Soca manifests the spirit of a people brought together under terrible circumstances that came together to forge a nation. Mixed cultures and carnival are two sides of a coin called soca. Next time you are listening to soca music, take a closer listen to the message in the words and the feelings the melody evokes, and you might find a closer connection to to the spirit of unity that has endured so much. However, if the message still feels distant, you can find assistance in another spirit that is so closely connected to carnival and soca music. Thanks for listening.